Hi, this is my A2 Media Advanced Portfolio Evaluation by Giovanni Da Costa, candidate number 4266. So, starting off with our first question, in what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? So, we made a trailer and ours was of the high genre, and let's start off with props. So, we use briefcases, we use floor plans of buildings, and through these we thought these were conventional, these were props that if you're going to see a financial heist you would want to see. And for our lighting, we didn't challenge that, we left it mostly high key except for our female trying to get the pass off one of the security guards, and there we'd have it at night. And through our planning we actually worked out at what times we need to film which sequences and on which days, because we filmed it over multiple days as well. So we thought our lighting for the most part was conventional. In films such as Ocean's 13, you'd see a lot of high key lighting. Even when it would be nighttime, they then go into casino. Taking Propeller 1 to 3 is actually quite high key because it's inside the subway, but there are moments in the tunnels where it's quite dark, and here we have certain dark moments as well, but it's mostly high key. For the costumes, we were basically very conventional there. We had our two main men who were wearing suits, shirts, ties, trousers, basically business attire, and because this was a financial heist, it was that we thought that was suitable. That would have been what they would have worn in Ocean's 11, in something like BBC's Hustle, but even in certain scenes and takers, they wear suits when they want to convince people that what they're doing is normal. But then, if we were going obviously for a more action-packed thriller, we would have maybe had suits at some point, but then at other points had something like balaclavas, which we obviously don't need here as we're doing more technical financial heist. Our techie is not as formal. He's still quite professional, but he's not as professional as our other two men. We have our woman as well, who her main purpose in this is to be seductive, and that's very conventional. She's not so much, she's formal, but she's wearing a dress, she's wearing high heels, and she's more there to be seductive to the guards. For our character choice, we have our team leader. He's actually a small guy and he's Asian, which is very unconventional, because generally the team leader in these kinds of films would be someone he's not young, he'd be someone who's middle-aged, and they'd be a white man, and he's Asian, and he's young, so obviously we've subverted that there. The reason to subvert that was not only because he's a good actor, but because we wanted to show how we have a more modern view of society, and how if this were in the UK, it would be very likely that this would be a multicultural group. We have our sidekick, who's the brawn of the group. He's white, he's tall, fairly conventional. It could easily have been a black person or an Asian person playing that. We wanted someone that was quite well built, and so we've been quite conventional there. For our techie, we've been very, very conventional. We have an Asian guy. He will be the one who hacks into the systems, and the fact that he's Asian is very conventional, and so we did not subvert that stereotype there, because we wanted someone that would be recognizable. For our female, we have her role is to play the sexy swindler, the person that convinces people, that gets the keys off people, that gets them into places. She's black and she's tall. The fact that she's tall is, I would say, conventional, and the fact that her costume and all that is all very conventional. The fact she's seducing is very conventional, but the fact that she's black is unconventional. Generally, you'd think this would be someone who's either white or Latino. You wouldn't associate it with someone that's black. But once again, here we subverted it, because we thought that in our modern society, this could be a very likely gang to get together. As far as the location is concerned, we went for an urban location. Very conventional in a heist film. It's what you'd expect. It's lavish. We've chosen one of the most lavish locations in London. We've chosen Canary Wharf. It's very rich. You've got huge buildings everywhere. You've got glass everywhere. It's the perfect place for someone to rob a bank. We haven't got them robbing someone in the countryside. We've got them, as in all these other films, going to this financial services district, getting money off them. We thought that our audience would recognize that, and audience feedback shows that the location was a good choice. As far as locations are concerned, inside the film we have stuff like cafes. Editing, we used quite a few things. First, we used humor. This isn't really editing, but it was more of our script writing, and it was very conventional. We want our characters to be likable. We want them to have some sort of humor to them. You want your audience to like the characters. You want them to sympathize with them. We use fast-paced editing for the most part, except the beginning. Heist films are very, very fast-paced. Taker's extremely fast-paced editing. It's got moments where it's just literally 2 or 3 seconds a shot. We haven't gone that quick because it wasn't so much as an action heist, but as it was more financial. We have a sequence at the beginning where it's a shot reverse shot, and in this sequence you have our 2 actors, our bank manager, and you have our main actor, and as they talk, it's just shot reverse shot. It's not particularly quick, it's not slow either, but we felt it worked well, because at this point we don't want them, it doesn't need to be action, there doesn't need to be too much action. He's receiving bad news, but then when we have them coming out of the doors, in Canary Wharf, we got them coming out with loads of business people. It's a very long shot, but it gets across all the information we need. Then we have a lot of shot reverse shots in the cafe. This needs to be done, this needs to be done, that. And then we have loads of tiny shots where we have characters moving across. We've had to use a fade and a jump cut in one of the sequences because we did not want our female walking all the way across a tunnel. For example, it was a 30-second shot. We didn't want that all to be there, so we decided to use jump cuts there. We wanted it to be quick, we wanted it to be humorous, we wanted the pace to be maintained. That's conventional. Montage editing, conventional of every kind of trailer. We didn't want them to necessarily know the end. We wanted to tease them the end. And the next scenes are they're all basically out of action. We have our planning scene, and we have cutaways to people doing different things, such as collecting keys. We have cutaways to that. We have cutaways to bringing down computers, and we have people going crazy because their money's been lost. We have our people celebrating. It's all montage edited, and we've even got a scene of them coming towards the end, which appears that they're successful, that they've got money, they've got the briefcase, that they've been successful, but we don't know if they're on the way to the bank then, or what's happened. There's an enigma in the film, and they want to go and watch the film to find out what actually happens and how it happens. As far as titles are concerned for editing, we used fast-moving, dynamic titles. We don't want one of those titles where you'd only have, for example, just the words. We'd want there to be a bit of movement. We want the background to move. We want the text to either expand or move, because this is what happens in trailers of the high genre. You've got Ocean's 11 where they use the 2 circles which move across the screen as they have text. We've got Takers where it zooms in and out slightly, and in R1 we've decided to go for this effect here, and we felt that this dynamic moving title, it keeps up the pace, it keeps the audience interested, and it's typical of the high genre. Transitions, we've used cuts for the most part, straight cuts. A faithful act usually means an end of a day or something here, but we want this all to happen in a quick period of 24 hours because they need the money fast. Special effects, we haven't used any. For the computer scene, we had to make all our computers look like we crashed, so we basically literally went out and made a PowerPoint for that, which made it look like every single computer's crashed. We synchronized every single computer. We haven't used any big special effects. If we were going to make the full film, and we showed them getting into the place, we'd probably have lasers and stuff like that, which we would have to try and find a way of doing. But I don't think it's a genre that would necessarily need a lot of special effects. For audio, we have voiceovers from characters' lines. We have no non-character voiceovers. So what I mean by that is in Takers, they have a voiceover man saying just taglines like, it was the most difficult they ever thought it could be, and stuff like that. We didn't need that. We felt that we wanted our characters to tell the story. We have them saying stuff such as, "Of course it does." As that happens, we see a cutaway of a shot, and it will show you the computer shutting down like so. "Of course it does." And we also have titles, and all our titles say what we need them to say without needing a voiceover on top. So, for example, this is one of our titles. And these titles basically they say what needs to be said. We didn't feel we needed a voiceover on top of that. As far as music is concerned, for the audio, we used a lot of jazz instruments. We used royalty-free music. It had to have a sort of higher class appeal, as in, because our audience would most likely be an older generation, it would be suitable for 12-year-olds to go and see as far as the certificate is concerned, but it wouldn't be something that would probably appeal to people under at least the age of 16, 17, and probably 30-somethings would be more interested due to the fact that they're trying to hustle the banks. So for the most part, we use jazz instruments for the music, and that's very Ocean's 11-like. It's very... It has a sophisticated appeal. We wanted to differentiate each scene. We wanted to make it obvious that this is not an order. We challenge the conventions by breaking the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall is, for example, the TV show Hustle, where they will basically be aware of the camera. They will know that it's there. So in our scene with our sexy swindler, we broke the fourth wall. She goes up, takes the pass from the man, walks off, and says this. Too easy. Too easy, because for her it was too easy. She did it. She wants the audience to relate to what she did. Basically, we wanted the audience to feel like they were part of the plan, like they were in on what was going to happen. And basically, we felt that breaking the fourth wall was a fantastic way of doing this. It got our character to have a little intimacy with our audience. So it's unconventional. It would not happen in... It very rarely happens in films. It would not happen in a heist film. There would not be a moment where, in Ocean's 11, Rusty Ryan or Danny Ocean would suddenly look at the camera and say, "Look, I just stole this man's wallet." No, it wouldn't happen. And as far as audience feedback, that works very well as well.